On the Marrakesh Express. You know we're riding on the Marrakesh Express. They're taking me to Marrakesh. All on board the train.
All right. Good morning, Montgomery County. 920 here on IRLoneStar.com. Broadcasting live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. On Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, Mornings Lone Star's Facebook page, and of course the Lone Star app at IRLoneStar.com. We're having a good time so far at 9:20. It is the 16th. It is Wednesday, January 16th, that is. Looking at the weather, it's going to be rainy, 50% chance. That's probably should start around later this afternoon around 3 o'clock, and that's going to go up to all the way to 70% tonight. So be careful with that. The high today is going to be 59 degrees. Low today is going to be 52. I know there was a freezing warning happening this weekend, so get prepared for that, especially with all this rain on Friday coming in and then going down to the 30s over Saturday and Sunday, so it might get a little chilly. And
we do have the good news that we did talk about how I-45 was going to be shut down at Rayford Sawdust this weekend. They pushed it back to the next weekend.
Why?
Probably because of the hard freeze.
Wouldn't they want no one on the road if it hard freezes?
Well, I just can't imagine these 80-ton construction tractors skidding off the overpass.
Rather them than me.
Yeah, better them than us. They knew what they were signing up for.
But today's partners, we got Bean Punk Coffee, of course. Thank you so much for providing the morning coffee for Mornings at Lone Star. And then Creative Content Creations, all of the creative stuff that goes into our bumpers and things like that. And then Clean Sweep Office Cleaning for keeping this office clean. The new studio has been actually pretty clean. I'm very surprised with our ability to be normal, civilized human beings.
It looks so pretty.
I'm happy
It
about
looks
that.
very pretty here.
So we didn't have a show yesterday, but we do have a show today, and we do have several giveaways today. If you ever want tickets to the 62nd Annual Houston Money Show that's happening this weekend, Friday and Saturday, we got tickets. So if you want them, just let us know. Just visit us on Facebook, message us, call in. We have all the stuff right here on top of the Facebook Live. Mornings Lone Star, MWLS at IRLoneStar.com. We got Twitter. We got a phone number, 936-647-3776. Yes, we're giving those tickets away. And then I believe we have 2 tickets for Little Texas this weekend. That's happening over at the Crichton Theater. So they were gracious enough to give us those tickets to give away. So if you're interested in those, just message us, and we'll give them away. So there's that.
I have to ask, when it comes to some band names, what prompts that name? Or more to the point, what are you smoking when you come up with that name? I'm thinking some guys sitting around talking, we need a name for our band, and how did they end up with Little Texas?
I mean, I'm not really sure. That's a question that you need to ask them.
I'm not that engaged with the question. I was just curious. You did some band names, like some really funky ones. You take it all the way back to Jefferson Airplane, Dexy's Midnight Runners, The Cure. Well, it's like, this is your company name for all intents and purposes.
I mean, I think a lot of times as young kids put it together and they don't really care, and that's it. And then it just gets stuck with. Well, I mean, you got like Fleetwood Mac. That's named after
Mick Fleetwood.
Yeah, so there's that. That's pretty simple.
And,
you got Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam.
Oh, that was about that. Was it David Vedder's Aunt Pearl made marijuana jam or something, and they loved it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are stories behind it, and you get your ones, like you said, Fleetwood Mac or the Jay Giles Band. Even Electric Light Orchestra you can kind of get because they have a very orchestral sound. Their concerts were filled with electric light. But some of these bands in Little Texas, I got to wonder what made them think having Little and Texas in the same sentence was a good idea.
I wouldn't worry about it too much.
I'm not going to loosely.
It's $60 value per ticket, so there you go. It's pretty high. It's $120.
Well, then I guess they landed on a name that sells tickets.
So, yeah, Holly and I are trying to sell our Fleetwood Mac tickets.
So that's right. You had a couple of tickets, right?
Yeah, we got a couple tickets.
But you can't make it to the concert?
Well, it was more of like, it's a funny story because
funny, haha.
Yeah, well, it's funny. Like, I'm sorry, Holly, don't get mad at me. So she knows I like that style of music, and I made a comment one time where people were talking about going to concerts. And I was like, I really just hate going to concerts with more than like 200 people.
Mhm.
And she's and everyone and I didn't notice at the time that she bought me
Bought
these
the-
tickets. And I was like, I
If
think
only you'd said, unless it's someone like Fleetwood Mac. And
well,
then
then I
worth
was
it.
like, and I just go, I just don't like the whole process. Like I get anxiety of like arriving, finding parking, getting a good place, and then you're spending, $15 a beer, and it's just really annoying. And I go, the only thing I probably will be able to do is like the Woodlands Pavilion because it's grass. So it's more open, like you can walk around. You don't have to like sit in this little seat between
It's not nearly as claustrophobic.
because just usually when you get those seats, there's like 15 people to your right, 15 people to your
Or
left,
there's 1,500 people to your right.
and you're like,
1,500
how do I go to the restroom? And it's like I have to go around all these people while they're enjoying this band,
Right.
and yeah, and I found out she bought me those tickets, and I really felt really bad after I said that. And she asked me if I really wanted to go, and I was like, you know what? Let's see what the prices are online, and let's see if we can make some money. And if we can make money, we'll do it. If we don't, we'll go see them, and I will be a trooper, and I'll have a great time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually, it's funny.
Or you could give them to me.
I think it's on a Thursday, so we're definitely shutting down a Friday because it's at the Toyota Center. So that's where the concert's being held.
Yeah, Dick will be a little. He'll be. Shh, don't say it.
Hell yeah, no. If I'm going to do it, I want it to go all out.
Of course.
But
now, is it Fleetwood Mac without Lindsey Buckingham?
I think it's see the way it was advertised was this is their last concert tour with Stevie Nicks.
Mm-hmm.
So like, there's no more Fleetwood Mac after this to me.
How many
And-
times has Garth Brooks retired?
Well, I mean, I imagine they don't like each other, right?
Well, no, they're all kind of ganged up against Lindsey Buckingham, who they booted from the show and now from the band, and now he's suing them, saying I am kind of Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah,
One of the
I don't
voices.
see. I know Mick Fleetwood's there, so
Yeah, but he's just the drummer.
yeah, they're not. That Lindsey Buckingham's not in the graphic.
No, he's not. They booted him out. He was doing a solo thing, and he's like, wait a few months, and they said no. And I mean, when they were doing Rumors, that was a horrible relationship between Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks, and that's where a lot of the songs came from, was the pain of just the grief in their relationship. The drugs were flowing freely, and the egos were flowing freely, but it made for some awesome music. It's like what was that band, The Vapors, who did Turning Japanese?
Yeah.
They literally broke up before the song was released. So it was the first time, at least in England, I don't know in America, where a song hit #1 with the band that no longer existed. So sometimes it just happens. But now we're talking decades later, and they're still suing each other. I mean, there's been like marriages and divorces within it. It's like ABBA, the
They
two
literally
A's married the
switched.
two B's, and then they got divorced, and then it was AB. It's like a really whacked out poetry meter. ABBA.
But that's with that. And then so again, if you want tickets to Little Texas, let us know.
Now, what
And then-
about if anyone wants tickets to Fleetwood Mac? Where are you gonna?
Oh,
Do they need to contact?
I don't
you?
know. Like
PM Dick.
Well, that's actually kind of funny because we're still trying to figure out how to sell them because she purchased it through the Toyota Center, and I think they have some prevention stuff where you can't just go to the corner and be like, "He wants 2 tickets." Like I don't. They have to have like your credit card or something like that.
Could be. Try
So-
StubHub or something. If you call them and say, "Hey, listen, here's the thing. I bought these tickets,"
So that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
So we got like 3 weeks. to do
and
it.
if for some reason if it just falls apart on you,
You know how
I'll
much?
take 'em.
Do you know how much the front row tickets are?
oh, I gotta say around 1,000.
Yeah, 1,200.
Yeah,
And that's pretty crazy, right?
that's cray.
But again, if it's our last tour, what's worth it? I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know, man. That much for a concert. It's funny. I flash back to the movie Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which is a very definitive 1980s movie, but it was 80s, so it was just not that long ago. And I remember the kind of slimy guy who's a scalper. He's scalping some tickets to this amazing concert that's got like the hottest bands of the time. He's like, "Yeah, man, I can let you have these for $25 each." And that was, people like freaking out. Oh my gosh, I can't afford that. Now, inflation, and I get it. And, $1 in 85 is not the same as $1 in 2019. But still, a concert, a top-notch concert in California, don't forget. This is the Fast Times at Ridgemont High, California. It was the scalping price was $25. You can't even find parking for a concert for $25 anymore. And part of me thinks that eventually they're going to price themselves out of not business, but out of that. It's like I think Apple's really hurting right now because I'm telling you they broke the $1,000 mark on the phone, and the phone isn't really worth $1,000. And now they're hurting. They've got a massive surplus of phones. Prices are coming down. They're going back to the old days. Yeah, buy one, get one for a penny. Because it's just a magical, when you break that $1,000 mark, people are like, well, I can spend $999.99. But $1,000, it's really got to be worth it. And I think the same thing with the concert. People would be going, no, I'll just wait for it to stream on the Audience HD channel or something.
It's funny. We were watching this deal. And Paris Hilton was on it.
Why?
I don't know who Paris Hilton is.
I do. Why were you
But
watching?
apparently, she's a DJ. Well, let's talk about the social media influencers.
Now, it's Paris or Perez, because remember, you have both of them. Paris is the gal.
Paris is the girl. The one who's, her
Perez
great-grandfather was Hilton Hotels.
Yeah.
Well, apparently she's doing a thing where she does VR DJ stuff. Apparently she's a big DJ overseas, like in the Indias and the Russias and stuff like that. So what she does is she does it all through VR.
Would you strap on the goggles and you watch her spinning the discs?
Yeah, you're at the concert in the VR. And it's her when she's actually there. So like when she's there doing it with like 10,000 people there, you can also be there, put your VR
strap on your little Oculus, and it's, you know what? I can live with that. Except for it being Paris Hilton. I'm not a fan whatsoever.
You know what's funny? After watching that, I have to give her some credit. She works.
Yeah, to maintain the lifestyle to which she had grown.
And that's one thing. Well, it was funny because I was talking to Holly, because it's all about different social media people who blow up and like die off, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And they had Paris Hilton in there. I was like, I always thought Paris Hilton was somewhat legitimately successful. Like she has clothing or something like that. And
yeah, her ancestry gave her open doors.
Oh,
and
yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
So, because the way they were framing it was all these guys are kind of dying out, and then they did her by the numbers, and it was crazy how much money she produces, like for businesses, not like she gets pocketed, but just how much money her brand name produces. It was like it went over the $1 billion mark.
Yep.
For her, like fragrances and stuff like that, and then I was like, so why does she spend this much time on social media then? Because that's kind of like the Mary-Kate, Ashley Olsen kind of like dream, where you got all this fame and then they just disappeared, but now they own like the biggest.
It was smart business sense, and their younger sister, Elizabeth Olsen, is Scarlet Witch.
Now the actress. She's
Yeah,
the actress.
And I didn't click till I finally watched that Avengers movie, and I saw her.
She has
like,
a
man, she looks like
horrible
one of the Olsen
Ukrainian accent or whatever, and disappears sometimes.
She sounded pretty American to me.
She's supposed to. No, in the first one, like in Age of Ultron.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
She was like full on Ukrainian because her brother and her from a war that was torn up.
Right.
Some fake country.
Well, if you remember, they tried to give Halle Berry in one of the X-Men movie. They tried to give Halle Berry an African accent.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what, Halle, just you're from the Bronx, just do it.
Yeah, actually, that's what I heard. The biggest complaint is with the Ruth Ginsburg movie, is that Felicity Jones, English woman, she plays Ruth Ginsburg, and she keeps adding the English accent at certain points.
Right.
So
I'm just still staggered at this dearth. The anti-dearth. A whole bunch of movies about people and situations that are still going on, that are still alive. Investigations going on. Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Well, actually, a big joke about the movie I was reading goes, hey, how awkward would it have been being Ruth Ginsburg, watching the sex scene between her and her deceased husband being actually on screen.
Right.
And they actually showed it.
Yes.
They're like, why are we watching this?
Right. And she's still alive and is seeing this. Americans just want the revisionist history, because when you do a movie just by unless it's a flat out documentary, and even then you can have your own slant on it, it's revisionist history. And Tombstone is a classic example. Great movie, wonderful drama. The names are the same, and that's pretty much it.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like that movie Open Range. That's one of my favorite movies. But
is that the one with the cow?
No, that's one with Kevin Costner and and Robert Duvall.
Oh, I was thinking of Back to the Barnyard.
But they're free grazers, and it was just there wasn't like, oh, this is based off a true story or anything like that. It was just like, hey, these are free grazers. This is a problem free grazers went through, and these people like who own big cattle companies don't like free grazers, so they use muscle to push them out. Well, Kevin Costner doesn't get pushed. Either is Robert Duvall.
That's right. You don't push Robert.
So,
you don't push Boo Radley.
So that's one of the best movies I've seen when it comes down to production, because it felt like a very simple Western action movie.
Yeah, I think the Ginsburg movie just should. Good taste to me says wait till she's passed on, and sometimes passed. Well, just like they had the Obama movie.
What I smelled for that was it was a first to release kind of thing because there was like 4 Ginsberg movies in production,
Right.
and it's like they needed to make one to be the
Which
first.
to me doesn't equate to necessarily a good movie.
That's
When you have movies
I
and
can't
competition.
believe you're so negative about that stuff. But you know, what movie I did see, and we'll talk about when we come back. I finally saw Solo.
Okay, we will talk
I
about
saw
it.
Solo.
You got to talk me into watching it
It's on Netflix, so why not?
because I have my time is valuable. So
So-
when we come back from our break, tell me all about Solo. But it's 9:35 right now. We shall return.
Yeah.
Well, let me hear you now. Did you know we're riding on the Marrakesh Express? Did you know
Is available in the Montgomery County area from Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, with scheduled cleaning services such as floor care, window care, trash collection, restroom disinfection, and stair and elevator cleaning. Clean Sweep can service a business one time or on a regular schedule, with daily, weekly, and monthly options. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning can be found online at cleansweepofficecleaning.com or by calling 832-689-7996. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning. Take back your time and let us make your office shine. Mornings with Lone Star is sponsored by Clean Sweep Office Cleaning.
Conroe Coffee is a local coffee shop located in the heart of downtown Conroe at 206 North Main Street, Conroe, Texas. Conroe Coffee serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with other treats and coffee. For more information regarding store hours and delivery in downtown Conroe, Conroe Coffee is on Facebook or by telephone at 936-266-7632.
We would like to thank Conroe Coffee for being a supporter of Lone Star Community Radio and our morning sponsor with Mornings with Lone Star.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1 and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776.
What is homelessness? Have you seen parents struggle to find a job without having transportation or childcare? What about the children sleeping in cars with nothing to eat? Families shouldn't have to struggle to survive, and children should not be homeless. Family Promise of Montgomery County serves the needs of homeless families and their children. Learn about ways you can help and learn about partnership opportunities at www.familypromiseofmc.org or call our day center at 936-441-8778.
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
to Marrakesh? Did you know we're riding on the Marrakesh Express? Did you know
All
we're
right, welcome
riding
back. It's 9:38. Mornings of Lone Star, irlonestar.com, broadcasting live. Don't forget, we are on Facebook Live. You can chat with us, or you can call in 936-647-3776 to leave a message. Hey, Bert. Just want to say hi to you. I saw you
Yo.
message us. Don't forget, we're giving away tickets to the 62nd annual Houston Money Show happening over at the Lone Star Convention Center this weekend, Friday and Saturday. Tickets, HoustonCoinshow.org for more information. And then, yeah, that's it. So, yeah, what we're talking about movies I saw. I saw Han Solo. I'm going to reviewing it on the ticket stub.
Well, give me a spoiler because I don't know if I want to watch it or not.
Well, okay, this is where I was having issues with it. It was trying so hard to be a Han Solo movie. I know that sounds really strange because it is a Han Solo movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like they had to fit in every little detail that we've known about Han Solo through just dialogue and things like that.
Man, that's hard because look at
That's
the.
what I'm saying. Like, it was enough to where, like, I like Star Wars, so I saw it and I heard it. But then, like, Holly would be like, I have no idea what's going on. And she hated it. She's like, this is so stupid. Like, I feel like I need to know what's going on.
Well, it's the cramming thing. Like at the end of the last one with the last movie with the prequel trilogy, where all of a sudden Anakin, flashes of being a jerkwad, but I mean, just from one minute to the next, I'm going to start slaughtering kids and
I like that though.
have twins, and one of them is going to keep my name and hide out on my home planet, but I will never find him because
my issue with that was they never really showed what happens when we turn to the dark side. Because if they said like you literally your brain changes and you become like a crazy psycho, that makes sense why he's killing kids. But like he doesn't.
yeah, it's
Because he's like, no. I love it. But anyway, so what was weird about this, like it was neat to know all these little stories about, you know, how he won the Millennium Falcon from
Do they
Lando,
explain the
and-
Kessel Run being in a unit of distance and not time? Was it I made the Kessel Run less than 12 parsecs, and it's like, well, that's a distance. That's not a time.
I think there was a little joke, but they showed the Kessel Run. So that was kind of cool.
Okay. It's not like the pod races, is it? Because, man, I
No,
wanted to
the
shoot
only thing
people.
that really threw me off is there was a character who had she was a robot and she was kind of sassy, and she, you know,
The character or the robot?
the robot was sassy. She was like, you know, robot lives matter kind of thing. And I was like a little thrown off by it, and then she becomes part of the ship. Spoiler. And I was like, so is that how they're trying to explain why the ship is so special? It's because an AI being is in the ship. But like that was really weird to me because it's like they didn't really make a big deal in the previous one, so why make a big deal now?
Do you think
And-
this movie is a setup to have a sequel? A
Oh
solo
yeah,
sequel?
totally.
Okay.
And you know what's funny? Taking those points out, it was an enjoyable movie. Like it was neat to see the characters, neat to see like the scene, the action scenes were fun, and I was genuinely curious to see the sequel. I was like, oh, now we're at because Darth Maul was in it. I was like, yeah, he has fake legs, and so that was awesome. But then they kind of lead on to the sequel because he was going to be part of the sequel. Darth Maul was, so I was like totally going to go see the sequel.
Now, was it, what's the guy's name? Ray Park? Was it the same actor? Do you know?
It didn't look like him,
Okay. Well,
but it's also CGI. It was through the hologram thing. So
I hate that. I was about to say, because with Darth Maul, I mean, seriously, you could put that makeup on me and I could look like him. It's so,
But
the makeup is so out there.
like the twist was really, you saw it coming. But again, like it was almost like one of those movies where you know the second one would be a lot better.
So this is kind of like a setup movie.
Yeah.
Almost.
And it was sad because like Rogue One, I really liked Rogue One.
I loved Rogue One.
That was fun, and they knew what it was. They weren't trying to do it,
But they
above
didn't
and
try to
beyond.
cram it all
Yeah.
in.
But Solo, they try to
spies.
cram in like every the dice and like all these little stupid things.
Oh, the fuzzy dice.
yeah,
thing
like they
from-
tried to, and I'm like, come on, like you don't have to. And like showed him where he got his blaster from, and like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
And
okay. So should I watch it?
I would watch it. I enjoyed it as a
Okay.
movie. I enjoyed it, and then again, I'm a guy who enjoyed all the Star Wars movies, like every single one, because I just love the idea of the adventure stuff. I love adventure movies, so it's something that entertains.
See, I'm
me.
just kind of I love the adventure. I love Star Wars. I hate sloppy writing
Well,
or plot holes
Well,
that
I think
aren't
what
easily
sucks about the
explained.
Star Wars genre now is there's certain moments in the newer ones that are just complete disappointments. Like for example, like my biggest disappointment with A New Hope, or Not New Hope. What was that? What's episode 7 called?
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens was it wasn't Anakin Skywalker who force grabbed the lightsaber on the snow fight against Kylo Ren.
It wasn't Luke.
Yeah, it wasn't Luke.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, if it wasn't Luke and it was that girl, I'm like, wait a second, why are we going this way? She's like, she knows nothing about it. She knows nothing about the Force. And now she can fight a person who's been trained by a Sith and a Jedi.
Right. Well, there are always plot holes. I mean, to me, in the original trilogy, the biggest plot hole was Luke completing all Jedi training except for facing Vader in about a weekend.
Yeah, but you're also trained
I went
by-
to college
but
for 4 years.
But you're trained by the best.
Doesn't matter. I could have been trained by, especially, Stephen Hawking
Plus,
could
his
have trained me.
metachlorine count was really high.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's what they try to do. It's like you have
Well,
no control over the.
Bird asked the question of would I enjoyed it if I didn't know the history.
What if it had been reverse order? What if the movies came out chronologically like they have production wise?
Again, like what it is, it's a balance issue. Like for example, episode 1, 2, and 3 don't balance well with 4, 5, and 6. When it
They're
comes to-
contingent on you watch them in the order that they were released.
Yeah, it's like-
because you have in episode 3, Anakin is Luke and Leia's father.
I did like when he caught on fire, though.
And then
I
in
laughed in the
6, they're
theater
like, "Oh
when-
my God, we're his kids." It's like, well, yeah, we knew that 3 movies ago.
I remember being in the theater where he's like, "Don't jump, I have the high ground," and he gets his legs chopped off and his arm, and I was like, "Dude, his legs and arms are got chopped off. That sucks." And then he caught on fire. I'm like, "Man, it's got to be the worst day right there."
Worst day period ever period. But okay, so I will give maybe Solo
I would
a
check it out. I
chance.
mean, like, I wouldn't go into it with high expectations. I think it picks up. So like the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes, kind of blah.
Mhm.
But then it picks up and it's fun and it's the typical like cocky Solo. And
The actor that played young Harrison Ford, did he do a decent young Harrison? Because I thought Chris Pine was awesome as Kirk. He paid homage to William Shatner without totally being William Shatner.
no, I think he did fine. I think
Okay.
everyone did fine. I think there's some things that were definitely like the robot thing really threw me off, like the robot lives matter kind of stuff. But it was interesting. And then Lando, what's that actor's name?
Donald Glover.
Like that, he did good. That was fun. He was very smooth.
He's a good actor.
He reminded me of Lando, like who Lando would be when he's young. That's who, because he's smooth.
Oh, Donald Glover could easily be a young Billy D.
So-
Williams. And I actually watched that video that Donald Glover did. What was the name? Childish Gambino.
Yeah.
That This Is America. I wanted to see what the brouhaha was about. Man, that was a song that really makes you think. Have you seen the
Yeah.
video? Because, when he's shooting the guy in the head, he does that funky pose. That pose is from the old Jim Crow posters back in the 30s and stuff. So, it was really
There was a lot of depth to it.
yeah, there's a lot of depth to that thing. He's a serious actor, and I mean serious in the sense that he takes his craft seriously and he feels he has a responsibility. Going back to the actual movie itself, like the last, most recent with Luke Skywalker,
The Last Jedi?
Yeah, what I truly, and I'm Team
That
Mark
movie
Hamill all
sucked,
the way
too.
on that.
That
It's
was good.
with his dad, who's blown up planets and killed numerous people, going, "There's good in him, I can feel it." And then with Kylo Ren, the first whiff of maybe Kylo Ren's a bad boy, Ben Solo,
Well,
he tries to kill him. It's like, dude, there's no
there's no consistency.
consistency.
He could have just killed. He should have killed that woman, because he doesn't want any more Jedi's. That's what I thought. Like he was going with. It's like, no, the world doesn't need any more Jedi's or Sith. Like that thing needs to die out because we kill millions of people with our knowledge.
Mhm.
So I thought that was like, oh, he's gonna kill her, but it's awesome. Like that lady finally she's gonna get her head chopped off, but didn't happen.
When a character goes down a path where they are diminished and like that, I felt that Luke Skywalker, especially when he dies at the end, I'm like, wait a second, he didn't do anything except project himself. And if that kills you, holy cow, he's weak.
Well, Bert asked a question. Supposedly, Lando is being portrayed as gender fluid. What's funny is I didn't hear about that going into it. I didn't really see it. I saw it more as like he was very compassionate with his
What
robot.
exactly do we mean gender fluid?
Like he had relations.
That means bisexual.
So
Is that what I would call bisexual?
I mean, I guess.
Because gender fluid means I'm a man. No, I'm a woman. It's what I feel like, I wake up in the morning and figure out what I want to identify as. To me, that's gender.
I don't know,
Fluid.
man. I think it was more of like he slept with a robot, and I mean, I guess you.
So
could
he's trisexual. He'll try anything.
yeah, and I guess you can interpret that, Bert. But it was more of like you could tell that they truly cared about one another.
Wait, he sleeps with a robot?
That's what people were taking it from the interpretation of what happened on the screen.
Well, we've talked about these sex robot
Yeah,
clinics that are popping up
I mean,
in the area.
it didn't show Ruth Ginsburg and her dead husband doing it. So, I mean,
The only
how
thing
far will
missing.
people go? I don't know. But no, you just knew they cared about each other, and then you could have interpreted like, oh, that way. Because there is a weird there's a weird comment goes, does that work? And one person's like, well, we make it work. So that doesn't mean like
Well, they did that back in 1987 with Brent Spiner and Denise Crosby when Tasha Yar decides to sleep with Data the android, and he's fully functional. So okay, well, you want to sleep with a robot? I say all power to you personally. It's hard to human traffic when when your hooker's a robot. So long story short, I may give Solo a
You should.
chance.
well, people want to give your novel a chance. Apparently, time crossed.
I heard that Dennis finished reading it. Thank you, Dennis. And he wants to come on the air and kind of interview me about it. He left
Yeah.
a message. I'm all for that, man. I'll talk about myself. I'm my own favorite subject.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we will do a little bit of. I want to talk a little bit about the Gillette thing. I want to put it on screen for us.
Yeah,
if
the
that's
Man
okay.
Shame commercial.
I want to put it on a little bit because a lot of people haven't even really seen it because it's like a 3-minute commercial.
Right.
So who watches that crap? So
apparently a lot of people have watched enough.
So we'll take a look at it, and then when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about masculinity and
toxic masculinity.
Yeah,
and the women that love it.
So
cool.
All right, you listen to Mornings Lone Star. We will be right back.
You know we're riding on the Marrakesh Express. You know we're
Business
riding.
office cleaning is available in the Montgomery County area from Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, with scheduled cleaning services such as floor care, window care, trash collection, restroom disinfection, and stair and elevator cleaning. Clean Sweep can service a business one time or on a regular schedule, with daily, weekly, and monthly options. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning can be found online at cleansweepofficecleaning.com or by calling 832-689-7996. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning. Take back your time and let us make your office shine. Mornings with Lone Star is sponsored by Clean Sweep Office Cleaning.
Conroe Coffee is a local coffee shop located in the heart of downtown Conroe at 206 North Main Street, Conroe, Texas. Conroe Coffee serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with other treats and coffee. For more information regarding store hours and delivery in downtown Conroe, Conroe Coffee is on Facebook or by telephone at 936-266-7632.
We would like to thank Conroe Coffee for being a supporter of Lone Star Community Radio and our morning sponsor with Mornings with Lone Star.
Hey, Montgomery County and online listeners. Thank you so very much for checking out Jazzy Vibes with Soul. What? You haven't done so yet? Well, you've got to tune in. Hi, I am the host of Jazzy Vibes with Soul, Miss CeCe Holmes, and I invite you to check us out every Friday and Saturday from 7 until 9 p.m., where you will get the best in old school R&B and, of course, a little smooth jazz to make it jazzy. So tune in. That's right, tune in every Friday and Saturday right here on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 FM or worldwide at irlonestar.com.
What is homelessness? Have you seen parents struggle to find a job without having transportation or childcare? What about the children sleeping in cars with nothing to eat? Families shouldn't have to struggle to survive, and children should not be homeless. Family Promise of Montgomery County serves the needs of homeless families and their children. Learn about ways you can help and learn about partnership opportunities at www.familypromiseofmc.org or call our day center at 936-441-8778.
Don't miss Lone Star Community Radio on TV and YouTube. Our talk show and music shows are featured on Our City TV, Suddenlink Channel 12, and have their own YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to keep up with posted shows and comment on them below the video.
An estimated 1 in 10 births will result in a neonatal intensive care stay, also known as the NICU. Overnight, a family can find themselves and their newborn baby in a critical situation. The Mila Foundation financially and spiritually assists families in need. If you would like to volunteer or become a monthly sponsor, please visit us at www.themilafoundation.org. Again, that's www.themilafoundation.org, because every life matters.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show. With monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
Had to get away to see what we could find. Hope the days that lie ahead bring us back to where they led. Listen not to what's been said to you. But you know we're riding on the Marrakesh Express. But Would you know we're riding on the Marrakesh Express? They're taking me to Marrakesh. All on board the train. All on board the train.
All right, we are back. 9:54, folks. Hanging out in the studio, talking a little movies. I had some good movie fun watch time. And then talked a little bit about giving away tickets, that's right, to the 62nd Annual Houston Money Show happening this Friday and Saturday. And then also, I believe we have 2 tickets for Little Texas over at the Crichton Theater. I think the Crichton Theater website is crichtontheater.org. That's R-E. And then if you want to know more about the Houston Money Show, just visit houstoncoinshow.org.
And down the line, we're going to be giving away tickets to the Owen Theater.
What's the Yonkers?
Lost in Yonkers.
I'm always going to forget. I was called the Yonkers play.
The Yonkers play.
Should I go see that? Or is it depressing?
It's deep.
Like, I don't want to see anything deep.
Save it for 42nd Street at the Crichton. Which
Okay.
is amusing.
I want to see Happy Days.
Oh, Happy Days is going to be fun. Oh, come see Sylvia. It's not deep. I mean, it'll tug on all your emotions. You'll laugh a lot, cry a little. It's very human. I love playing the role, the middle-aged guy going through a midlife crisis, because typically I play characters, meaning I played Sigmund Freud, I played Benjamin Franklin, I played John Adams, I played Ebenezer Scrooge, I played characters. The character in Sylvia that I play, Greg, is a guy. He's pretty much me. I don't have to put on an accent. I don't have to wear makeup or change my hair or anything. It's, the only concession I make is in Act 1 before my character quits his job and stuff. It's more straight-laced, and then when you come back in Act 2, suddenly I'm wearing an earring and I'm wearing, more casual clothes to show that this guy's kind of being deconstructed. But it's great playing someone who's basically yourself, a real person. And it sounds funny because I'm a real person acting against a woman pretending to be a dog.
And that you have 2 more weeks of that, right?
3.
3.
Yeah, it's a 4-week. Yeah,
no
you got time.
excuse.
No excuse.
So the only thing I do know is Holly's working 6 days in a row.
You can come without her.
So
I mean, we love you, Holly. Don't
I'm
get
not
me
gonna
wrong.
lie. If I go, I'm gonna get in trouble. So,
Without her?
Yeah, because she likes you. She's like, I wish I could have
Oh,
gone. Why couldn't we gone next weekend?
Oh, I love me some Holly too. Okay, then
So
we
can
will.
I sneak in this and just be like, put it right here?
Yeah, do the live stream with
Live
your
stream.
phone out of your pocket. Sure.
Get closer to my to your.
It's only blatantly illegal, but I'm okay with that. I'm really
So-
good. So before the break, we teased that we were going to talk about this Gillette. To call it a commercial, it's like it's a mini video. It's like 3 minutes
Yeah.
long, but it's all about toxic masculinity,
Yeah.
and it's as designed to be very polarizing. You don't come out with a product like this and be surprised where you split lines down the middle. And people are coming out on both sides of this. Are you going to play a little snippet of it?
Yeah, I'm gonna try something real quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it on with us at the bottom corner.
Oh, look at that. We're getting upscale here at Lone Star.
All right. Yeah. So here, let's play it. Let me get the audio going. All right.
Bullying.
The Me Too movement against sexual
Toxic
harassment.
masculinity.
Is this the best a man can get? Is it? We can't hide from it.
Sexual harassment is taking over.
It's been going on far too long. We can't laugh it off.
Who's the daddy?
What I actually think she's trying to say.
Making the same old excuses.
Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys.
But something finally changed.
Allegations regarding sexual assault and sexual harassment.
But she says
And there will be no going back. Because we believe in the best in men.
Men need to hold other men accountable.
Smile, sweetie. Come on.
To say the right thing. To act the right way.
Bro, not cool. Not cool.
Some already are. In ways big
Yo, men.
and small.
I am strong.
But some is not enough.
That's not how we treat each other, okay?
Because the boys watching today will be the men of tomorrow.
what's strange to me is
Mm.
what I get when I watch that is just don't be a jerk.
Right. So let's discuss this, and I really want to open up
Hey,
to
just don't be a
our
jerk,
listeners.
guys.
Don't be a poopy head. So battle lines have been drawn over this, and this is the latest example of what I'm calling absolutism. That how can I phrase this? If you're not completely against the current president, then you are low scum, you're deplorable, you're racist, whatever. It's completely black and white. With this, I like this commercial, to be honest. I find it funny and a little hypocritical of them because for decades, their tagline has been man-centric. Be the best a man can get. I remember several years ago.
Why can't the best be a nice person?
Well, that's the point. It has zero to do with razors. This has absolutely nothing to do with your beard.
Well, because I always thought Gillette's advertisements have always been more about like raising your son to use Gillette.
Right.
Because you grew up on Gillette.
It's a rite of passage, learning to shave,
but it had nothing to do with like, you're being a bully.
Yeah. It's not a commercial in the traditional sense. It's polarizing, and they knew it would be polarizing when they did it, and it got a debate going. Problem is, we just so schismed out in this country that...
Well, it's not as polarized as Nike with that football player who made millions of dollars.
Right, but here's the thing. If you don't like this Nike commercial, then you're a racist. And like, no, I just don't like that commercial. I don't think Colin Kaepernick has any business telling me the sacrifices he's gone through as he collects his $50 million paycheck from Nike. So with this Gillette commercial, it's sad because I've seen on Facebook some male friends going, "This sucks. I'm so tired of toxic masculinity." And then other people, men and women, are getting on. Well, then you're the problem. You're the face of the Me Too movement. You're the idiot who's making. And it's like, no, someone who's expressing that they don't like this commercial. I personally like it. I think it's kind of inspiring. I think Gillette has absolutely no. It should not be from Gillette. The best a man can get is now saying, oh, so for decades they've been promoting, if you want to say toxic masculinity, but now they're like, oh, not us.
I wouldn't say they're even promoting that. I think they're just promoting
by the current definition.
Be the best that you can be, and that hopefully everyone strives to be a better person,
but
not a bully.
Let's look at Gillette commercials all throughout history. The man shaving, looking good, slapping on his aftershave, and then going dancing and looking at a woman across the bar.
Women?
Not beating women, but just like going across the bar and, hey, baby, what's up? Now, times change.
You're also talking to like, is if women, and I mean, I guess, I don't know, Holly, like, I don't remember being, my toxic masculinity, like, allowing me to talk to her, but I know I hit on her, and I don't think I whistled or catcalled, but I mean, I did something of like, hey, who are you? You look very cute today.
You, hello, whose little girl are you?
Yeah.
Because it's a joke. Because
who owns you? Whose property?
In a musical I was in, I played Ben Franklin. There's a line where he sees Martha Jefferson for the first time, and his phrase is, you, hello, whose little girl are you? And because Ben Franklin was a, kind of slimy like that. He was creepy Uncle Ben, as it were. You can't get away with that now. I remember the commercial for decades. It was Secret, the underarm deodorant. Strong enough for a man, made for a woman. You remember that? Yeah. And then somewhere along the line, it got changed. Strong enough for a man, pH balanced for a woman. Well, and I kind of agreed with that because it did say, okay, women aren't strong. If you're strong enough for a man but made for a woman, the implication, the strong implication is women aren't strong.
Well, my favorite thing now is people are saying Gillette charges more for women's razors than for men's razors.
They've put themselves under the microscope, so they're going to have to answer to that.
But apparently they're the same razor, just different colors.
Yep.
So I like that. I thought that was pretty funny. But
so Gillette had no business putting this out, but I can't blame them for putting it out. I like the debate, like the discussion, but I hate the absolutism. If you don't like this commercial, you're now branded that you're the problem with all things male.
I think we also discussed that over the past 5 years, there's the minority voices of these beliefs are the loudest.
Mm-hmm.
So it's impossible to really cut through the stuff and find out what's really happening with people and what they really think. I mean, I think there's a few people on Twitter who get upset about this stuff, and that's it. I don't think it's like
things
three-fourths the country.
If you've seen on Facebook, you'll see these like really stupid like nostril hair grooming for women, like this, women going crazy for this new. No one does. No one's going crazy for it. It's someone's putting it out there saying this is the latest fashion trend. It's not. It's like the Flat Earth Society. Very, very, very few people are taking the Flat Earth Society seriously. They'll become a member just to say so they can get the business card. But it's being portrayed by the media like, oh my gosh, welcome to, Trump's America, or however you want to phrase it, that nowadays people think the earth is flat. No, they don't. They really don't. By their own website, they say we have members all over the globe. Now, just think about that, people. The Flat Earth Society says that they have members all over the globe. If that's not sarcasm, I don't know what is. Now, speaking of...
Well, I mean, I also think that is anything constructive come from this, because if you watch this commercial, and you can tell me I'm wrong, because there's a lot of our listeners are older than I am, but I don't ever remember there being the norm in raising children for them to be bullies. Like, I know there's bullies in the world. There's some form of being, I would say, like, what do you call it, chauvinists? Or something, like some people are going to be like that, men and women.
And the times change.
I don't think it's ever, even if you say times change, I don't think the core principle of being a good person and telling your kids to be a good person has changed.
Well, it depends how you define good, because I've said it many times. You can't judge yesterday's actions by today's standards. Now, growing up, it was hey, sweetheart, how you doing? Women in the workplace, they were treated less.
There's always that one person.
Yeah.
But that
But even if it was institutionalized, like look at Mad Men, that's how it was. And I lived in that society when, married women could not have their own bank accounts.
Yeah.
When, everything was, come a long way, baby, the Virginia Slims, and then the women's lib and the rebellion against it. And here we are decades later. So when I say the times change, meaning 5-10 years ago, we could say, hey, sweetheart, how you doing? Now, not so much. We adapt to it accordingly.
Yeah, and I just don't think I mean, I know you always have to keep saying the same message to people, like be a good example, be a big brother or big sister, always those things. But I don't think it's really changed in a sense of, 30 years ago, we used to say, don't do this. Don't be a good person. When you see a lady walking down the street, make sure to slap her butt. Like, I don't think that's ever been taught as a normal way that society works.
It was institutionalized that, home ec, the women learned stenography and sewing, the men learned not that, and now it's more integrated. Now, as far as this Gillette commercial, I think the thing that would have made it more worthwhile for me is by them making their tagline of so many decades a directive. We're challenging you to be the best you can be, and we'll be the best we can be, because this is Gillette for decades has been misogynistic in their own way. But now they're blaming everyone else, and that was my big problem with it. They're showing, well, you're a pig, and you're a pig, and you're a jackass, and you're a jerk. Whereas they've been promoting it for decades. So if they turn the spotlight on themselves saying, it's our turn, we will be the best we can be.
Yeah.
And follow us. I'd be Team Gillette all the way. I'd go out and throw away my cheap Kroger's razors that I get, a pack of 50 for $3.99, and I'm buying me a Gillette.
That's funny.
Now, talking about the wrong target audience, this one just cracks me up. So there was on Sirius XM radio.
Oh, you want me to find the audio?
Do you know what I'm about to talk about?
I think I know.
So there is a Fox News pundit named David Webb, and he was on Sirius Radio and being wailed upon by CNN legal analyst Ariva Martin. And this is just beyond funny. Are you going to play the audio?
I'm looking for it right now.
Okay, because I don't know if I want to. I would rather speak for itself than me kind of say what it was. But let's talk about the importance of knowing to whom you were speaking.
Okay.
That should be it right there. Should be it.
You just never know with this stuff.
Yeah, you about to put it on?
All right. Yeah, see, they always put these like bumpers against.
Okay, so is this bumper until they start talking? So this is a live radio interview with Ariva Martin, who's African American, talking with David Webb of Fox News.
Yeah, this isn't it. I'll find it.
Okay, I'll just go on and say it. She starts wailing on David Webb because he's like, listen, they're talking about pretty much affirmative action. Who should be hired for a job should be most qualified, and that he said, me growing up, I never had a door shut on my face. Pretty much, this is what he's conveying, that he takes accountability for his actions. He doesn't blame the world, this and that. And Ariva Martin starts wailing on him about, well, that's just your white privilege. And he's like, I beg your pardon. And she's like, yeah, well, because you're just exercising your white privilege against it, so forth and so on. And now, folks, I'm sure you know the punchline by now. David Webb is black. And as he tells her, you really should be more prepped before you come on the radio. I'm black.
Here, I think I found it.
Okay, here we go.
Done the work so that I'm qualified to be in each one. I never considered my color the issue. I considered my qualifications the issue.
Well, David, that's a whole nother long conversation about white privilege and things that you have the privilege of doing that people of color don't have the privilege of.
How do I have the privilege of white privilege?
David, by virtue of being a white male, you have white privilege. This whole long conversation, I don't have time to get into it.
Ariva, I hate to break it to you, but you should have been better prepped. I'm black.
Okay, then I stand.
See, you went to white privilege. This is the falsehood in this. You went immediately with an assumption. Your people, obviously, or you didn't look. You're talking to a black man who started out in rock radio in Boston, who crossed the paths into hip hop, rebuilding one of the greatest black stations in America, and went on to work for Fox News, where I'm told apparently blacks aren't supposed to work. But yet you come with this assumption and you go to white privilege. That's actually insulting.
It is, and I apologize because my people gave me wrong information. They told me
the whole white privilege thing is insulting.
David, can I apologize and correct the record? I want to apologize. I was given wrong information about you, and I apologize.
But based on my color, you were going to something that I was part of. And just to add to it, my family background is white, black, Indian, Arawak, Irish, Scottish. I mean, it's so diverse. I'm like the UN when it comes to this. And this is part of the problem with driving a narrative around a construct like white privilege. Privilege is one thing.
So there you go.
Pretty crazy, right?
It's funny because Ariva is apologizing for, sorry, I was given bad information. Now I'm just so tired of someone going on the air and blaming the source. Remember a few months ago, there were some false stories coming out and the reporter said, well, my source gave me bad information. Well, it's your job to check the source. That's why you get two different sources. And so to blame staffers going, well, they didn't tell me, but to know the history of it, but she didn't have a counter argument. It wasn't the, okay, well, let's take white privilege off the table because of A, B, and C. The only thing she was interested with was conveying she was given bad information, which to me is just a horrible excuse because you're passing yourself, you're a legal analyst, and it's like going into court as a lawyer, getting creamed by the other side, and you're telling the judge, sorry, I didn't know that I was supposed to ask questions beforehand. I just didn't know. Well, it's your entire job, and CNN pays you a lot of money to know this. And then as Webb pointed out himself, you went right to white privilege.
Well, again, I think that's what some people are so programmed, and I think it's a small amount of people who are used to going on their Twitter every morning or Facebook and lashing out at folks and not really fully understanding scenarios and situations. I mean, the most previous one, the biggest example was that young girl who was shot in Houston. And that blew up. That blew up where they're like...
The police sketch, everything was described as a white man. Yeah. And then they caught him, and not only was a black guy, it was a black guy she knew.
And it was two. It was gang-related. And then the lady, a relative of the white guy, was like, hey, can y'all stop, berating me and my uncle because we didn't do it.
We literally had nothing to do with this
whatsoever. But people still
whatsoever.
wanted to get on Twitter and do all that kind of stuff. And what's even more ironic is he's back in jail. The uncle is because of a non-related crime. But, I mean, it's just kind of like, why are we going on our social media platforms and taking what we believe is the truth and then still not apologizing, not going through it? Because kind of like her, she just deflected. She didn't say she did anything wrong. She just apologized for not being well prepped.
Yeah, no, she had said, you know what, David, you're right, and my entire argument is not null and void, and you were right. None of that. But I was given bad information. So... I miss journalism, Dick, and I mean journalism. The old school journalism of getting independently verifiable sources, at least two of them, or if you had a source needed to be protected, that it was an actual source, not just something you made up, and then you said, well, sources indicate this.
Well, not even that. I mean, I can see now with I wouldn't I don't know the right word is the narrative, but even your source might be skewed because they want to drive a narrative. That source, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, how do you do your due diligence when even the sources that you're
Bingo.
searching
No
for?
I missed due diligence. I missed journalistic integrity, and it's across the board. That's Fox News and CNN, and I'm painting them with the same brush.
Because that's
it goes both
I mean,
sides.
that's what I'm kind of following on some of the other politics stuff that people are blaming. It's like where they heard it from, they weren't completely truth about the source or the information because they wanted to withhold certain parts, and then it just kind of blows up in everyone's face, and everyone looks like an idiot. So
when we come back, I want to talk about the State of the Union, upcoming State of the Union a little bit, because I think Pelosi may have fallen into a trap.
Oh.
Nancy may have. And
So there
I
you
want
go.
your perspective on this.
Yeah, some good stuff today, folks. Thank you for staying tuned to Mornings with Lone Star, irlonestar.com. Don't forget our partners with Bean Punk Coffee, who are open right now down the street from us. That's right. They're over there, and then their Montgomery location's going to be opening soon.
Woo.
And Creative Content Creations, c3memories.com, and then Clean Sweep Office Cleaning. We will be right back after these messages.
But you know we're riding on the Marrakesh Express. They're taking me to Marrakesh.
Conroe Coffee is a local coffee shop located in the heart of downtown Conroe at 206 North Main Street, Conroe, Texas. Conroe Coffee serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with other treats and coffee. For more information regarding store hours and delivery in downtown Conroe, Conroe Coffee is on Facebook or by telephone at 936-266-7632.
We would like to thank Conroe Coffee for being a supporter of Lone Star Community Radio and our morning sponsor with Mornings with Lone Star.
Business office cleaning is available in the Montgomery County area from Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, with scheduled cleaning services such as floor care, window care, trash collection, restroom disinfection, and stair and elevator cleaning. Clean Sweep can service a business one time or on a regular schedule, with daily, weekly, and monthly options. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning can be found online at cleansweepofficecleaning.com or by calling 832-689-7996. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning. Take back your time and let us make your office shine. Mornings with Lone Star is sponsored by Clean Sweep Office Cleaning.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show. With monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776.
Health Center Southeast Texas is a federally qualified health center. We accept Medicare, Medicaid, and most major private insurances. For our self-pay patients, we have a sliding scale discount program available. Our health centers have qualified providers and staff striving every day to provide the best quality of care to our patients. Services offered are family medicine, behavioral health services, telepsychiatry, and pediatrics. We have 4 area locations. Look up the Health Center Southeast Texas online at hcset.com.
Hispanic Chamber Connections with Dr. Carlos Sanchez, President of the Woodlands Conroe Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, featuring event announcements, member highlights, and more. Tuesdays at 1 p.m., broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas on irlonestar.com and Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
For those of you who like your partners, your gumbo, and your music salty, well, we're here to help with the music. Julian Shea here, host of Lone Star Country Nights Thursday, your weekly dose of roots and Americana and all the music that makes this part of the country special. We stir in Western swing, honky-tonk, Zydeco, Texas blues, outlaw country, and put a pinch of red dirt, and then we smoke it over a slow fire. Then listen to the results Thursday nights on Conroe's 104.5 and 106.1 and worldwide at irlonestar.com.
Ducks and pigs and chickens call. Animal carpet wall to wall. American ladies 5 foot tall and blue.
Welcome back. It is 1019 irlonestar.com/MWLS with Mornings with Lone Star. We are on Facebook Live. Check us out. Send us some message. and chat with us. We got a couple people, and Dennis, yes, you are my source. You saw it in a dream. You'll be my number one source, and I won't tell anybody about it. But there are some interesting things.
You're dreaming of Dennis?
No, Dennis is my source, and he gets his source from his dreams. So he gets his information.
Dennis is dreaming of you.
Yeah, whatever I want him to dream, and that's what happens.
Wow.
But we are live here, and we're having a good time. And we have about 40 minutes left in today's show. One thing I have to warn, there is a freezing warning if you're just now joining us this weekend. So if you have to go through the normal freezing prevention kind of stuff, this is the weekend to get prepped for it because it's going to hit the low 30s. And we are expecting rain today and all the way through Friday, so be careful with that. And then also, if it's true, they're not closing Ray for Sawdust at 45 this weekend. They're doing it next weekend. So I guess you're free to drive in the crazy freeze.
You can drive cray-cray.
So, but we're back, and we were. What did you want to talk about?
Well,
we talked Gillette. We talked Mr. I'm Black, but you didn't know that, Mr.
Yeah, David Webb.
David Webb. And then we talked a little bit about Solo.
So House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who is third in line to the presidency. It's president, vice president, then Speaker of the House.
Okay.
So, and she's the chief Democrat. Recently encouraged the president, because the State of the Union's coming up. And she suggested to postpone it until after the shutdown, which is fine. I'm not making fun of her at all on this. I mean, I think it's a normal thing to do to say, first off, it kind of puts a timetable on it. Hey, how about we get the government up and running before the State of the Union or do this? Because a lot of people don't know the State of the Union. What it is constitutionally, the president is directed to once a year tell Congress basically how the country's doing. It's the State of the Union address. And it's become this big pomp and circumstance thing in the chamber, you know, Mr. Speaker. The person actually has to ask permission to enter Congress. So
is that when if I remember correctly, the highlights of this is like that one guy goes, "You lie."
Yeah, we had that one time.
Donald Trump brought a bunch of people, and he's like, "Look at this person, clap, 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 clap." And what about this person? Clap, 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 clap.
Yeah,
clap. Okay.
It's become a spectacle.
Okay.
Whereas constitutionally, all you have to do is just kind of write a note, handwritten note saying, "Okay, economy's doing good, unemployment's down here," and pass it over.
If Donald Trump was smart, he would get a cute 7-year-old who's somewhat higher intelligence than the average 7-year-olds and read it, and that way you can't boo a 7-year-old.
Well, that's the thing. If you remember the last one, you saw so many memes came out of it. Trump was doing his thing, as all presidents do, putting the best possible face on everything. And you saw just a lot of sour pusses in the audience. You could just tell that, refusing to clap at all, just sitting there glaring. And it was kind of funny. It didn't reflect well on the Democrats during the State of the Union generally, because they came across as sour grapey. With this, whereas I think Nancy Pelosi was well within her mandate to say, listen, I suggest you put it off. I think it could easily blow up in her face because, as I've said, Trump may be dumb, but he's not dumb. He's crazy like a fox. Every time he tweets something, he knows that it's polarizing, and he's controlling the news cycle for the next 24 hours. There is nothing that says the State of the Union has to be in the chambers. He can do it from the White House. And think about this. So the State of the Union, for the first time in forever, being done from the Oval Office. So you have the Oval Office, the president giving that's the seat of absolute power, with no applause or the sourpusses looking from the other side. And basically, it could be the world's grandest press conference that can't be denied from the seat, from the most powerful chair in the world. And that could make his approval ratings and the ability to take him seriously actually skyrocket. I think Pelosi may have misgauged him going, you know what, you're right. Instead of postponing the whole State of the Union, I'll just do it from the White House. And that could bite her. It'd be interesting to see how it turns out on that. Kind of behind the scenes political maneuver.
I'm totally waiting. Got so excited. That's pretty funny, but we have one of our wanderers of Conroe joining us from Beanpunk
Who
Coffee.
did not bring me any coffee. He just walks in empty-handed.
Jason, we're gonna have to set some rules.
Yeah.
Man. If you're gonna stop by, just get on the air. You got to pay
Right.
for that airtime, man.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So
I got to deliver too.
I take my coffee like I take my women, hot, white, sweet, with just a hint of bitterness.
Oh my gosh.
Or black and strong. I'm fine. I'm fine either way.
You doing all right, Jason?
Yeah. How are you guys?
How's the Montgomery location doing?
We have an actual install date. I believe it's going to be next week. So
for the fire stuff,
right? So I believe it's going to be open at the end of next week.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah,
Wonderful,
at
great,
least
great.
We have
timing on
some
this.
type of something, you know.
What? Tell me about this game night y'all are doing Friday at 7 p.m. at the Conroe location.
Right. So we used to have game nights here. This is going to be just a board game night, and right now we actually have a group of people coming in Thursday mornings. This Thursday morning to play Dungeons and Dragons at our location. And I remember used to playing like the first edition of AD&D because I was a geek in the 80s. Still am.
Right.
But they are setting together some type of game night, and the last time we had a game night was with charades and other kinds of board games. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Okay, you just show up, 7 o'clock.
Yes,
Okay.
over at 330 North Main Street. So we're no longer at our old location. We're at a new location at 330 North Main Street, and that used to be where the Red Onion Company used to be.
Yeah.
So I got to ask you about a sponsor sign.
Yeah.
And the size of that. But anyways, so what are we talking about here?
Well, we were talking about the Gillette commercial that has been hitting the social
toxic
media.
masculinity commercial.
Yeah. What exactly? So
we played it. We played the whole thing for our listeners. So if you weren't listening, sorry.
Oh.
So you can actually go back to our podcast and stuff like that. But
I just saw some type of meme.
basically, it just says don't be a bully and teach your kids to be better men.
I think they missed an opportunity to turn their decades-old misogynistic "be the best you can be" because they've been pretty misogynistic with their presentation throughout the
have they?
decades.
I didn't think they have. Man.
Yeah, it was the whole concept is with our brand, you're more of a man, therefore you're.
I don't know. I think it's more so. It's
But
more like
what's wrong with that? If
Nothing. I don't think anything's wrong with
they're
it.
saying a man is a good person. As
No,
long
they're
as you're
saying
a
a
good
man-
man.
But now all of a sudden, so for decades they're saying man's a good person, but now they come out with a 3-minute commercial saying you all suck.
No. What they're saying is that clean-shaven men are good people.
Yeah, beard people are
beard people
are
yes,
horrible.
Right,
They're horrible,
which promotes toxic
and gross.
masculinity. Basically, it profiles a bearded man.
Or no. What they're saying is people who use one blade, they suck. But people who have 10 or 20 blades on one, on
Well,
one.
what scares me is in the
With
commercial,
lubricating
I didn't
strips.
see one razor blade.
Oh,
The whole thing was
So
not.
that kind of frightened me a little bit because I was like, oh, they're changing companies.
Oh.
They're doing something. They're doing,
I think if they'd buttoned it at the end with them instead of throwing the mirror on everybody else saying you suck, because the whole thing is shots of guy, putting his hand on a coworker's shoulder. What she means to say is this, or people being accused of Me Too's, mansplaining. It's to say for them to button it at the end saying we're going to be the best we can be. Join us.
Or it's a large conglomerate, it's a large company, and they figured that everyone knows they have razor blades, so they don't have to show razor blades on the commercials anymore. And they figured, oh, this is our way of making money and extra support.
To me, it comes across. I like the commercial. I don't dislike it, but it comes to me as a money grab.
It's
well, not even. I bet they're trying to shake up their stock. I bet.
Tell me one company that doesn't spend money on advertising as not a money grab, other than a nonprofit.
No, but what I mean is that it's not to promote the product.
They're promoting a brand, which sells products.
But it's polarizing. Here's the thing: because half the men who use their brand are now going, "Screw you! You just lump me in with all other men."
They're going to burn their razor blades.
What
I'm gonna melt them into plowshares.
If they were smart,
if they
were smart, they would just change their brand to be a unisex brand.
Because as Dick pointed out, there is a cost disparity. So the exact same blade that's just a different color costs more for women.
Yeah.
For
So
men.
they need
Leo
to
uses
do.
my
So
razor blades.
they're as guilty of it, but this whole commercial
They're
they're throwing
smart.
they're throwing the mirror on everybody but
No,
them.
this is how you capitalize. You make a unisex brand, and you have the son showing the transsexual daughter who used to be a boy how to shave because you got to be a girl, and then that's how it works, right? Is that how it works? Because
I'm still talking about the difference between gender fluidity and bisexual.
I'm trying to figure out how we can do
There's
a
a difference.
win-win-win situation. So
I'm trying to figure out why people aren't offended by the fact that people are saying that shaving is a good thing versus, just being hairy all over like in the 70s.
Yeah. I challenged Holly to do it, and she refuses.
What, to stop shaving?
Yeah, I was
no. Call me a male chauvinist pig. I don't care. Women, I love you smooth, and that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say on
it's
that.
weird. What's strange about it, I mean, Jason brings up a good point, is when do we cross the line of personal preference where, because, for example, Holly and I are married, and we can kind of tell each other what we like and what we don't like about food, personal things and stuff like that. But then when do you go across that line and say, I don't like it when you don't do your beard like that. Like, why would I care? I don't care how you do your stuff. Look at me. I don't care. But when do you think people will cross that line?
Well, there are ways to cross it. I prefer longer hair on women, for instance. So,
to give you an idea,
if there's danger of a big haircut, I would say
Holly wants a cat, right? Holly wants a cat, and I'm like, well, if we have a cat, Jason can't come over. And I'm like, and I'm going to
wait. So what's the down point to this?
Because he's allergic.
Yeah. So what's the downside to this?
I'd rather
you need a cat. I'll get you a cat.
I'd rather have Jason come over than have a cat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, me too. Sure.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm willing to cross that line for somebody else.
Yeah.
But do you think Gillette's trying to cross that line for everyone, trying to say, hey, this is how you should act?
Or Gillette is exercising their freedom of speech. This is America.
Oh, absolutely.
No.
The problem is that on social media, Jason, people are going, I don't like this commercial, and immediately they're getting just savage by people. Well, you're the problem, and I hate the absolutism that's going on. That if you may not happen to like the message of this commercial, but now all of a sudden you're a misogynist, Me Tooer. I mean, I've got friends that are just savaging other friends, going, "You're the problem."
What creeps me out though is like if Gillette's a razor brand. If they're that big, are they making other brands razors?
Yeah,
because it's kind of like the sunglasses conspiracy, where like there's only 2 companies in the world that actually make the lenses, and then they sell it to like Oakley and all them. So it's like realistically, there's
that's why I play.
You never heard about that? It's like it's a legit. I think it's legitimate where there's like literally 2 companies in the whole world that make all the frames, all the lenses.
Yeah, not just sunglasses, glasses. That there are only like a handful of companies that make, but
they sell it to Chanel, and then Chanel sells it.
So the exact same lens that's made on the machine next to it is sold to Walmart.
Now, see, this is a much bigger conspiracy than Russia or anything else.
No, I don't think. I mean, it might be true. I think there's documentaries about it and stuff.
Oh, we need to look this up.
So
we need to stop.
Is that the razor thing though? Because I have a straight razor. I try to use that.
Ugh.
And
no, you're definitely a manly man.
Yeah.
And it works, but like the only problem is with me is like right now it would hurt too much. But if I keep shaving every day with it, I'm
my
fine.
son is old school. He's got a full beard, like a Jeremiah Johnson beard now. But when he would shave, he'd be the whole, go to the barbershop, hot towel treatment, getting it done professionally. He's old school.
I've never used a straight razor.
You shave your head though, right?
Yeah, I shave my head.
So what do you use to shave your head?
I just thought it was Nair.
I've tried that before. It stinks and it doesn't work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're too much of a man.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
doesn't
the
affect
problem.
men. Yeah. So I use dull razors. It's much better.
Dull or dull?
Dull.
D-U-L-L?
D-U-L-L. Dull. Dull makes pineapples and raisins.
I don't know.
They make razors.
They don't cut your head as badly.
Okay.
And
So
you
you give it to Leo for a couple days and then you take it?
No. I'll start with the new one and I'll be really careful and I can't push down. But then once it starts getting dull, you're like, okay, I can go real quick. Yeah. But you know what's the difference is with women's and so sometimes I'll be in the shower and her razor's in the in the shower and I'm like, okay, I don't have my razor here. I'll use hers. It doesn't work. It's terrible. It's like one blade is all messed up. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's why she uses mine when she needs to shave because
I've divorced.
I tried out. What's funny? I tried out the dollar.
Woman using my razor.
I'm trying out the Dollar Shave Club.
Mm-hmm.
And it works for me because I don't shave that often. So I think it costs me like $6. And I get like a nice shave every time I shave now. Instead of like, I always hold on to razor blades to the point where like it starts hurting because they're so dull. Maybe I should start giving them to you. But
donate your used razor blades. No, I've been divorced, enough times to know that to save money, what I'll do is I'll buy the cheap pack of the disposables. But what you do, when you're not shaving with them, stick the head of the razor into a jar of Vaseline. Because it's the oxidation that dulls the blade. So if you keep the blade protected by the Vaseline, it lasts for months. So seriously, I'll buy a pack of these disposable razors, 1 pack a year.
Okay. Yeah, I used to use disposable razors.
Yeah.
But it's the weight of disposable razors that don't. Like, I actually need a little extra weight in order to shave my head down
I
better.
absolutely got you. And I was just wondering the other day, do they still have remember the old razor blades that are traditionally used in the movies for someone to off
Straight
themselves?
razor.
Yeah.
Yeah, who
Well,
uses it?
yeah, those are called safety razors because the straight razor is the one that kind of flips out like in the old
Right.
West movies.
Okay.
But the old ones that, you'd like stick it into your razor and screw down the top and it had the.
Oh, that's before my time.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't start shaving until I was in the 40s.
Moving on. Hey, so Chris Hansen, the guy that does the To Catch a Predator thing?
Oh, I thought it was the guy that sang bop, bop,
Yeah.
bop. Okay.
Well, there could be a Chris Hansen there. But he busted. He like kited some checks for like $13,000. So he got arrested for that.
Oh, he bounced some checks.
Mm-hmm. I know it's not big, but his whole career is based on ambushing. Now don't get me wrong. Every pedophile who gets caught and is
Have you
proven.
bounced a check before?
Oh God, yes.
Have you bounced a check before? You didn't ever use checks, did you?
Yeah, I don't bounce checks.
But I've never.
I've bounced checks before.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
accidentally bounced checks, or when you had a short balance. or you used
I'll
a
be
lot of
honest. I've
account.
purposely bounced checks in my life before just because I didn't have the money.
Yeah, see, it's a lot. Have you ever driven over the speed limit?
All the time, but never in the school zone.
Chris Hansen got busted for going over speeding limit. I think that's ridiculous.
But Chris Hansen makes his entire career based on
catching
catching child predators. He's never caught a guy bouncing a check.
But here's the thing: is everyone he catches a predator because they're branded for life.
Because they were
There's been
going after
there's
little
been
kids.
no due process in these shows.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Absolutely no, and there's no blurry face or anything. These people are there.
Yeah.
And some of them, there could be entrapment. What I'm saying is that he gets off on that. I'm not saying it's a karma thing, but it's just if you pass yourself off as morally superior.
Extradite him to China, put him in the gulag. He's over. His life is over.
Wow, we just like taken 3 different cultures and mixed them into one.
You go, Chris, which hand did you use to hand over that check?
Chinese gulag.
My left one. And then you chop off his left hand and be like, there, lesson learned, bro.
Okay, so we've just managed to offend the Chinese, the Russians, and the Arabs
I don't
in one sentence.
That's how you do it with Chris Hansen.
Right?
And you do it all on tape.
Chris, all I'm saying, Chris Hansen, is next time you go on the air and presume that somebody's guilty, give him the presumption of innocence.
Don't bounce checks.
Don't bounce checks.
He could have been his wife or his girlfriend.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. He's guilty.
He's guilty.
Yeah, his hand's gone.
Well, I mean, it's not
We'll
like...
be back. We'll be back. You're listening to Mornings Lone Star, irlonestar.com. I have a phone with Jason from Bean Punk Coffee. So we'll be right back.
I smell the garden in your head.
Howdy, everybody. This is Jared Sterrett, and you're listening to KZCC LP 106.1 Conroe and KZCW LP 104.5 in Conroe and worldwide at ourlonestar.com.
Business office cleaning is available in the Montgomery County area from Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, with scheduled cleaning services such as floor care, window care, trash collection, restroom disinfection, and stair and elevator cleaning. Clean Sweep can service a business one time or on a regular schedule, with daily, weekly, and monthly options. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning can be found online at cleansweepofficecleaning.com or by calling 832-689-7996. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning. Take back your time and let us make your office shine. Mornings with Lone Star is sponsored by Clean Sweep Office Cleaning.
Conroe Coffee is a local coffee shop located in the heart of downtown Conroe at 206 North Main Street, Conroe, Texas. Conroe Coffee serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with other treats and coffee. For more information regarding store hours and delivery in downtown Conroe, Conroe Coffee is on Facebook or by telephone at 936-266-7632.
We would like to thank Conroe Coffee for being a supporter of Lone Star Community Radio and our morning sponsor with Mornings with Lone Star.
Did you know that there are over 153 million orphans in the world today? The sad reality is 99% of those kids will likely never be adopted. Core Love is an organization right here in Conroe that takes care of orphan children in Haiti, Honduras, and India. We bring the love of Jesus by providing their 6 basic needs of clean water, proper food, healthcare, education, job skills, and a loving home. Visit corelove.org, that's CORELUV.org, lowstar.org. Will you help defend the orphan?
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app for your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That is Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
Hey guys, this is Connor.
This is Dick.
This is Chris. And we're with the Ticket Stub Podcast every Thursday live at noon on 104.5 and 106.1 FM in the Conroe area. Also, anytime at irlonestar.com. You go to irlonestar.com/TTS. You can find all of our social media.
And don't forget, we give away 2 tickets to the Grand Theater on every show.
If you like movies and you like complaining or celebrating anything that has to do with the silver screen, check out the Ticket Stub Podcast and join us every Thursday at noon o'clock on Lone Star Community Radio. All right, welcome back. 1040. IRLoneStar.com. This is our last segment for Mornings with Lone Star. Oh, no.
Jason reminding us that, remember the, so we were talking
let
about.
me do my opening.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We are still giving away our tickets because we got to keep repeating that. We got tickets to the Money Show this weekend. Visit HoustonCoinShow.org for more information about what the Money Show is on Friday and Saturday. So if you want tickets, just message on Facebook. And today's partners were special thanks to Beanpunk Coffee over at, what's your new address called?
330 North Main.
330 North Main. And then Creative
Prospect
Content
Courthouse.
Creations, and then Clean Sweep Office Cleaning.
There you go.
Yeah. So what were you saying?
Oh, just Jason reminding us that the CNN legal analyst who mistook the black guy for a white guy, there was someone was interviewing Samuel Jackson, right?
Yes.
No, I think it was Morgan Freeman.
But
no, really, I think it was Morgan Freeman.
No, it was Samuel Jackson.
It was Samuel Jackson. Are you saying that
you can't
white
tell
people look alike
No, I
to
think
you?
the same thing happened to Morgan Freeman.
Oh, that could be. But
okay.
that's kind of Morgan Freeman, James Earl Jones kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so someone's interviewing Samuel Jackson about a movie. He's like, that was Lawrence Fishburne.
I think it was a commercial, like a. Oh, it wasn't a movie. Yeah, it was a movie.
I'm gonna look it up.
So that's funny. But something we can talk about. So speaking of movies, A Glass is coming out. And for those who don't know what it is, I think M. Night Shyamalan, I've always been a fan, but I've also been the first one to rag on him when it gets lazy. He's the guy who did Sixth Sense, which I thought was one of the most brilliant movies ever done. I liked The Lady in the Water. It was an acid trip of a movie. It was a vanity piece, but I liked it.
I like Signs.
Signs, I loved Signs, even though there were glaring plot holes in it.
Yeah, like
You come
for
to
instance,
planets that's 3/4 seawater, don't.
like going through clouds and fog would mean like an acid bath, an acid steam bath to an alien
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
So there are plot holes, and I get that, but I loved how it all came together. The village I hated because I guessed it, the twist just from the trailer. The Happening I couldn't even watch.
I didn't see The Happening.
The trees are getting tired of getting cut down, so they make people want to
I
kill
also
themselves.
did enjoy Unbreakable.
Well, here's the thing, Unbreakable, that's where I thought he brought it back because the whole movie I'm watching, I'm like, okay, I get it. He's really a superhero. I get it. Okay, give me the twist. And then when the real twist came, that you thought his friend is really the bad guy, the Lex Luthor, I thought that was brilliant. Now, flash forward to, 15, 20 years later? Split. Now, I personally didn't watch it because I have an issue watching Hollywood movies about multiple personality disorder because I was married to someone who actually had MPD.
Oh God, you're so
And-
selective.
Well, no,
Oh,
it's
man.
it's always treated as a joke. You got Jim Carrey playing someone, and
I don't think this was a
for
joke
someone,
in the movie.
well, what I'm saying
I mean,
is
he's a
that
villain.
they don't. What causes it? You just don't wake up one morning and say, you know what, I've got 22 personalities. There are typically reasons behind it, and they're really bad reasons. Think about the worst things that can happen to a kid. So I wasn't inspired to watch it, but I heard people going, oh my God, the acting was great, but the twist is amazing. So I finally broke down enough to watch it, and I thought Shyamalan was back in the saddle. I was impressed with it, but then the twist at the end when you find out this is actually a sequel to Unbreakable because the Bruce Willis character is there going.
Well,
And so now they have the third movie, which is Glass, where it's bringing them all together.
Well, one thing that a lot of people don't realize, and like what I like about M. Night Shyamalan is he was one of the few directors at the time when I was like, I really liked filmmaking. I was really into films. He's one of the few that provided so much information online on how he goes with his creative stuff. And what's even better as I got older, I started noticing he put a lot of where his money where his mouth was, in the sense of he personally financed I think his past 4 movies.
Mhm.
So he didn't need to go anywhere. He didn't need to follow a guideline of a producer or anything like that. He personally paid for like The Visit, and I think he did Split. He paid for Split. He paid for Glass, and all up front. Like he paid for everything.
Mhm.
And that what's nice about that is you see how you can in the film world you can create a great motion picture with great actors while not going, hey, we got to spend $300 million on special effects and, getting Thor in there and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Because
It gives you a good alternative.
well, I mean, like, and his return on investment is crazy.
Mhm.
Because I just looked it up. Like The Visit he did in 2015. Probably a lot of people didn't know he did that movie.
The Visit, which one was
It's
that?
a scary movie, basically. It was one of those normal Halloween kind of like.
Like is a house, people trapped in a house.
Something like that.
Okay.
But he spent $5 million on it, and it made $98 million in the box office.
Mhm.
So that's crazy. I mean,
Everybody does stinkers. For every castaway with Tom Hanks, there's Joe versus the volcano. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's forgiven some, and that's why I like Shyamalan because I think he's kind of fearless. He's, when he did Lady in Water, he's like, listen, 4 people on the planet are going to like this movie because it was a story I made up for my daughters. It's a bedtime story that took like 3 years to tell, and I'm just bringing it to life. And it was an acid trip of a movie where the characters in the movie realize that they don't really exist, that they're characters in somebody else's story. And I just thought it was brilliant.
and I looked up Split. It cost him $9 million,
Mhm.
and he made the box office was $278 million. And I don't know how normal Hollywood works, but if this guy's able to budget and get these actors to come in, and for $9 million, that cast list, that's James McAvoy. Betty Buck-
McAvoy, yeah, that's Bruce Willis, who usually would command probably $20 million
Yeah.
bucks a movie, but he's like, okay, listen, give me a
Somehow-
mill now, give me 500,000 now, and give me 10% of the profits or of the gate.
Yeah, and Glass cost $20 million. So the new movie.
I can see that, but you got Bruce Willis, you got Sarah Paulson, you've got James
Samuel
McAvoy,
Jackson.
you got Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
And they're doing it for love.
So
You-
that's what's
you
really exciting
believe in
about
the
it. I get excited when he makes movies.
When's Glass coming out? When's the release?
Glass
It's
is
like right
release
around the
date
corner.
is this weekend.
All I ask is that he doesn't be in the movie. He's just a terrible actor.
Unless the Hitchcock thing, Hitchcock always put himself in a little cameo, and I kind of like it. He's giving a nod and a wink to Hitchcock by throwing himself. And if you notice, he usually plays a jerk in his cameos.
Hitchcock or
Shyamalan.
He's not a jerk. He doesn't.
That's what I'm
act-
saying. He
doesn't
plays.
do
He
it well.
doesn't. It's not to put himself in a good light. In Unbreakable, he played a guy who's trying to sell drugs in a football stadium and gets out of line.
Yeah, I mean, come
in
on.
Sixth Sense, he's the doctor that's accusing Toni Collette of beating her kid and saying, "I got to call the cops on you."
What was he in
and
Signs?
Signs, he was the guy that killed Mel Gibson's wife because he fell asleep behind the wheel.
And but he was always just melancholy and sad. He's just not a good actor. Just don't.
Well, we had this discussion on the ticket stub about Mowgli, because Mowgli is mainly a CGI movie with a child actor,
Right.
And really, he might not be a good actor. It's almost like a criticism on his directing skills. Like he can't direct himself.
Yes.
Because there are certain I noticed that about directors who are confident in, like, for example, teaching kids what to do, and like Mowgli was a great example where like probably about 70% of the movie he did really well showing this kid. But then the rest were like, you could totally see he was taking cues and trying to figure out, through this virtual jungle. But again, like it comes down to the director trying to direct these actors, how to make them look good. I mean, somehow people make, Nicolas Cage look good. And some movies work out really well. Some movies do not work out
Like in the
that well.
90s.
Well, I think that's a great example. Like he has some movies that his acting, you're like, that is such good acting. But then next year he makes some Russian movie and like it's horrible. It's this horrible movie. And like, well, how is this actor capable of winning an Oscar make such horrible movies? Well, it's the directing. And
No, frequently it's also the producing. Because remember, the producers typically have final say and final cut over the director.
Yeah.
And that's where you get stuff like Highlander 2 happening.
Yeah.
When the
Well, I don't
producers
think
get their hands
what's
on
his
it.
name? It's not that good of an actor though.
Who, Christopher Lambert?
Yeah, I don't think he's that good.
He was French. I mean, he was good for the first Connor McLeod movie, and then
He's French?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I thought it was Canadian French or something.
No, he's Christopher Lambert.
I did not know
Is
that.
there a difference?
Well, it's
Between-
English.
Yeah, it's like you have Adam Lambert from American Idol and Christopher Lambert. They're-
I've never actually heard any type of like weird accent from him or anything.
That's because he did like every role he has. He's like very minimum dialogue.
You sound funny, Nash. Where are you from? Lots of different places.
There can only be one.
Yeah, no, he's French.
He always like he does like.
It was also like very nearsighted, which is where all those sword fights. He would not wear his glasses, and he almost chopped off Michael Ironside's finger in Highlander 2. Because I mean, it was like his thing's hanging from a tendon because he didn't have his glasses on.
Wait a minute. I just realized that he kind of looks like the Witcher guy. Is that what they based
the
the
who
Witcher?
guy?
The Witcher.
The Witcher.
The game.
I don't know.
Who looks like him?
Christopher Lamb.
No, he does not. No, he
Well,
does
he's
not.
got the white hair and the.
You know they're making that into a movie.
What?
The Witcher.
Yeah.
Now, I always thought that Michael Ironside back in the like 70s and 80s would have made an awesome Wolverine.
Michael Ironside. We're talking about the guy that was in V.
Yeah.
Okay.
In his V days, he would have been awesome as Wolverine.
I always thought Wolverine was supposed to be like slightly Japanese.
Well, he's very short. That's the thing. Hugh Jackman just redefined him because Wolverine's supposed to be like my height, like 5'4". I'm 5'6", but he's supposed to be really short and hairy. And
they're making a Netflix series, and it's Harry Cavill, I think.
Henry Cavill?
Cavill plays the main character.
No kidding, because he's not doing Superman anymore.
So I don't know. I think Matt Madison's in it. Look at this. This actually looks pretty cool. I'm
just waiting for the next Mad Max to come out.
That's never coming out, dude.
Yeah, I heard it was like stuck in
development hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's suing Paramount or whoever produced it. So.
Yeah, that's a shame because that was such a good movie. You know what was really good about that movie?
Oh, well, what was really good about that movie?
Sitting in D-box seats to watch that movie. That was an entire ride. There was no stopping that entire ride.
Oh, I love the D-box.
Well,
I saw Last Jedi. Not Last Jedi. Force Awakens. My daughter and I went to go see Force Awakens in a D-box. Oh,
I wanted to tell you
cool.
this because we were talking about Avatar the other day. Apparently, with Fox and Disney merging, Avatar 4 and 5 are up in the air right now.
Oh, great.
So
wait, there's a 2 and 3 coming out?
Oh, yeah. They've already filmed. Everything's completed for 2 and 3, and then 4 and 5. And I'm like, I can't believe James Cameron's letting people tell him what to do.
Aren't we like doing a new Aliens, like right after the Space Marines Aliens? Isn't there like a new movie coming out that
Probably
happens right after the Space Marines?
I mean, that's I don't know. Who knows? I mean, the Predator did such a good job in the box office. So no telling what they're going to do.
It did terrible. I didn't know
it
that.
did terrible.
I just combining those universes. I remember seeing there was an actual comic book of Superman in Alien.
Oh yeah,
and he gets like face hugged and throws it in there. And then what happens is the critter tries to come out of his stomach, and of course he's Superman, so it can't. So he just throws it up into space. He goes bleh, and throws it up, and there you go.
Yeah,
that's the story.
I've never been keen on it.
Oh, they had X-Men crossover with Next Generation, Star Trek Next Generation. There's just some crossovers that you got to say why.
When did you stop reading comic books?
You're so cute when you think I stopped reading comic books. I don't read nearly as much as what I used to.
Did you have like a little subscription with a box and everything at the local comic box store?
I would get dibs on stuff, and I was the master of getting like number ones on so many. This would be like a title that may not have made it past episode 2, but number 1 of Cloak and Dagger, number 1 of the Death of Superman and the reboot of Superman, number 100 X-Men. You know, I'd make sure to get those ones. Now, unfortunately, I lost half my comic collection in the flood. But the other half, and I don't know all the ones that I lost because the paperwork that went with which issues I had went away too. So I'll have to rebuild it at some point. But that one hurt.
I owed the guy money before I went in the army, so I gave him half my comic books, including like Punisher 1 and stuff like that.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh goodness golly.
Yeah. Oh well.
Well, it's 10:52 here on a Wednesday morning.
Yeah, we gotta be closing it up.
Aww.
Closing it up.
We're on the America Express, huh?
Yes. You like that?
The America Express.
You've been listening to Mornings Lone Star, irlonestar.com/MWLS, and of course, Mornings Lone Star on Facebook. It is 10:53. We're already closing it down. We won't be here tomorrow, but we'll be here Friday. We do have a special guest. We have a local author, Catherine Lane, going to be in the studio talking about her new book. And also an upcoming book event she's doing in the Woodlands on January 31st. And special thanks to Jason stopping by, saying hey. And don't forget the 60-second Houston Money Show this weekend. We got tickets to it. Visit HoustonCoinshow.org for more information. If you want to know how to win tickets, just message us on Facebook.
And don't forget game night, Friday night.
Friday night, game night at Bean Punk Coffee at
330 North Main Street.
330 North Main Street.
Across
Their
from
new location.
Across from the courthouse.
There you go. And Sean, it was good to see you.
Always, Dick.
And we will see you guys on Friday.
Peace.
Bye.
Marrakesh Express, they're taking me to Marrakesh. Don't you know we're riding